the week 7 of the course. And after we have course for a few weeks, I hope that you are more refreshing and ready to resuming completing your project 1. I hope that your midterm exam is going to be good news for you because I feeling that the afternoon class students are very diligent. They are very hardworking, so I hope that the midterm test will not too challenging for you. Okay, let's talk about our project 1. A few weeks ago, we have done something that's quite nice. Do you remember what did we do in the first week of project 1? We were talking about the data sets that you chose, and you try to figure it out. What were they about? Okay, and what kind of insights that you might be get from that data set. So that is the first week, right? And you plan, you form your team. Okay, that is what we did. In this week, the objective is to explore and try to create charts, which is data visualization out of the data set that you chose previously. If you can create a few data visualizations and you can plan your storytelling, that's even can be called achievement already. Okay. Our course structure in this week is quite different from the previous week because we learned that when we make the presentations for the whole class, the class did not participate as much as we expect, and at the same time, it consumes the time that is very valuable for the group to actually gather together and work to complete their own projects. So in this session, the course structure will be like in the first 15 minutes, I will give the course introduction and the session introduction and give some lecture very briefly, just 15 minutes, and then we will have thought about 15 to 20 minutes for the presentation for the template number 2, which is for week 7. If you have already complete earlier during the past weeks, never mind, you can proceed to completing week 3 or template number 3. So you will not waste any time. And about quarter to 2 o'clock or 1:45, we will start. I will to listen to their presentation. The presentation is going to be very simple. You can just show the template already complete and tell me what is the part 1 is going to be like. This is the answer that will be complete in the template number 1 or 2. And this times 2, right? So that's all. You don't have to actually make the Canvas slides, or you don't have to make a PowerPoint slide, because I would like to focus on the work that you complete. But for next week, you can also show the presentation slide in the Canvas format or PowerPoint format. So that is for the template number 3, not 2. Is that easy enough for you? Right. And while I am listening to one group presenting, the rest can focus on their own project completion. You don't have to listen to the other group presentations if you don't want to. But if you're interested, you can just take a look and listen what they are presenting. That's up to your preferences. Okay. Is there any questions or concern? No, for now. So if you have one, do not forget that you can always reach out to me. Okay, and on my first view, I would like to tell you that we have got the project number 1 assessment rubrics, which means the assessment scorecard. So if you would like to get a full mark, make sure that you focus on the band that's called proficiency. And there are some description of how to achieve the proficient level in that particular aspect. For example, in week 7, like this week, we are going to focus on your strategic analysis plan. Yeah. How did you get your findings? How did you get equations? Actually, I have to tell you. How did you get equations for your data set? And how did you find ways to answer those questions? And how did you make the charts to visualize your findings? And how did you use AI to interpret that charts or findings as well? Okay, this is the strategy analysis plan. I have for 35 points for this week. Next, please. Another aspect is about preliminary visualizations. I'd like you to make sure that you selected right chart for that data. If it is a category, you use bar chart. If it is a time series, if you need to use line chart, for example. And if it is a proportion kind of thing, you use pie chart. You select charts already, you make the design lines to look at, and it's look, and it's also be able to answer business questions as well. And the another aspect is a third aspect. Next, please. It's about the progress documents and iterations, which means that when you work with the data, when you work with AI, you capture the screen, you write notes so that people can follow, or people know what you did to the data. And how did you come up with the idea like that? So this is what we call documentation. And if you did not find things that you want, so you change your direction, you change ways, you try more times so that you get what you want. So we call it iteration. Okay, now next please. And that's all. Okay, this is the rubric for the next week. And if you want to sneak peek what is going to be accessed, so you can use this file at any time. Okay, so that is the rubric. I hope that everyone understands what it is. And today we are going to do we will download the business a group chart creation that drive business action. So this PowerPoint, we will talk about what we have to focus in this phase, which is chart creation. And all we have already created charts. So after you listen to this lecture, very brief one, you have to think again about what you already completed. And if you find that it needs adjustment, do not feel reluctant to adjust it. In the template, although you already completed template 2, but when you make charts to show that your finding is like this visually, so this is something that we have to take a look at. this is how group visualizations can drive real business action. And it needs to be visual storytelling, and it has to look professional. And when you give the presentation, you have to know how to do that. Okay, let's next please. Visual storytelling. The tips are you have to make your charts look consistent. For example, the color that you chose for one thing, that color have to always use for that particular thing at any time. Otherwise, people will kind of confused why you change the color without any good reasons in the next slide, for example. And if you, another thing is that when you use fonts, you use styles, you have to make sure that you use for a very particular purpose. And at the end of the day, I think consistent is the key. The style also is the key as well. For example, if you use line chart, bar charts, and pie chart, but suddenly when it's time to something else, you don't use those style again, but you use maybe picture or maybe icons that look quite different style, that the style look quite differently. So that is not consistent. People will get confused why you change the style. So make sure that it looks harmonious the whole slide decks or the whole series of charts that you are presenting if you are not making it in slide decks. Next, please. And when you make charts, of course, there are maybe 10 charts that your group member collaboratively create, but you cannot throw all those 10 charts to the audience. You have to select charts that give the story development, don't repeat the things that the other charts already talk about. So maybe you can choose the charts that show the problem, show the thing that you are doing wrong. It should not be like that. And then the other chart, another chart show, okay, this is solution. This is the way out. And the other chart might show, if you do this, it will give some impact to your business. You get more engagement by doing this type of content at this time. For example, this is something that you have to do it right now. This is something that you have to think about how you coordinate charts. Next, please. You also have to make sure that all group members' expertise get integrated into your group work. Otherwise, some of the group member expertise just left unused, and that is so what you call so sad, right? So some people might be very good at data analysis. Some people might be very good at aesthetic. Some people in your group might be very good at analyze with the business insights. So you have to find strengths in your group member and assign him or her to do that part. Next, please. And for the chart that look professional, I have to point out these issues. You have to make sure that your professional charts actually make the statement right away. The initial version of the charts might just tell people about the variables involved in the chart. So it's maybe like sales and engagement. So that's our variables. Okay, quarter four sales data. That is the time variables and the sales number. It doesn't help anything much people have to think again, what are you trying to say? Rather than give the title of the chart like no meaning, instead I would like you to name the charts that really give the message. Like sales are declining in quarter 4 due to market shift. With this kind of statement, people can get your message right away, no matter you say in your presentation or not, but it's better to say it out, right? But the chart already tells what it is. So, next please. And the slide or the chart has to be easy enough to let the audience understand it at a glance. If 5 seconds, they can understand what your chart is about. For example, if we use the infographic have to really tell what are you trying to say. For example, the mobile users drive 60% revenue growth. So you just use the mobile phone, arrow, dollar sign, and 60% plus. So this is very easy enough for any audience to understand what you are trying to say. Compared to the dots kind of slide, you can see that there's a lot of text, and those texts are very small and very detailed that people really can't understand what I'm trying to say until you really explain one by one. And that takes time, and it takes longer than 5 seconds, and that's not interesting, not engaging. So the final is to make sure that your charts, your visualizations take only 5 seconds to understand. Next is, and when they ask a lot of data visualizations, one after another, how are you going to make the story out of those charts? Is an issue. I therefore let you know that one thing to think about is this kind of framework. I think you should start the story that anyone can engage with your story. Give them context, overall insights. For example, if we continue spending on video and expecting that we will get sales, that is not true. Okay, people kind of now get excited about this kind of fact because it's quite contradict to what they believed earlier. And then you reveal or disclose something that you discovered using the supporting details, like from our data sets, from our survey, we found that video get less engaged than simple images. That's very creative. So spending millions of budgets on video creation might not always a good idea when we can do something cheaper and more effective. So this is kind of supporting details, right? And then you have to reveal what you want to the other person to do, the listener to do. You have to give a very specific recommendation. Clear recommendation is the key. So I would like we to start creating image content with creativity every week, and it should be launched in the morning because that is the time when the audience most engaged with our image post. Right. And because in the morning people don't have much time to spend, but they love to engage in the morning. So this is a kind of very specific recommendation. Okay, next please. And when you do the group presentation visuals. Let's talk about this. I would like you to make sure that you coordinate with your team well. So you already arranged with your team members who is going to do the technical kind of stuff, who is going to start the presentations, who is going to follow, and who is going to follow next, and who is going to conclude. So and the script has to be kind of flowing, not repeating. Right. And the visuals and the script should also synchronize. And that's all. I think. Next, please. This is all things that I would like to do. Actually start the week 7. Is there any questions or anything that you would like me to clarify? No, not for now. Okay, so I would like you to know that on at every station we have the screen and the cable and the adapter. I would like every group to make the semicircle around the screen and one computer of the group member plug into the cable so that the rest of the group member know what you are wanting or we are doing. If you keep focusing on your own screen, maybe the other person don't know what you are doing and they are not engaging. Right. So I would like you to form a group around the screens. And we will, I will start listening to the first group presentation at quarter to 2, and that's almost quarter to 2. Okay, so I will start listening to the first group around 5 to 2. Okay, who is the first group to present?
เจ๊แดงครับ
Jayden, who is Jayden? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so 5 minutes to 2, I will listen to your group presentation for the template number 2. So we did both. We did look the same to me. Because when you complete the content to you, automatically or roughly that looks nice. We have this scatter around the screen so that you can go past book. And if you have one free time, because already finished and ready to present, you can proceed for the week of 8 present preparation. Okay, now around the screen we could put have you finished? Okay, if you're if you are ready, can have
อาจารย์ครับเช็คคะแนนหน่อยครับ
right. And we need to check the attendance as well. Okay, this is the QR code for checking attendance. Thank you very much for attending this class in person this week from okay, right?
ที่เคยเช็คนานเลยค่ะ
Because it will create new culture in this course. Otherwise, I believe that at the end of the course there will be no one attending if I don't start doing this.
ตรงนู้นก็ได้นะครับ
ขอบคุณนะคะขอบคุณ thank you everyone for coming. Good and Alabama and Attack you start home. If you're spending I know that clarification which is not you let them realize that well I should have used to send it back. You can do that.
เขาบอกว่าอยากนั่นก็เลย
ดีขึ้นมั่นใจขึ้นแล้วก็เช็คเนี่ยครับพอเช็คปุ๊บอะมันไปขึ้นทันทีว่าในวันที่7นี้มีเข้ามาบ้าง
ขาดประมาณสัก20%นะ
กลุ่มมี2 คนปกติจะมี
ถ้าเป็นกลุ่ม
นี่คือมันคือแบบ
ใช่เพื่อเก็บไว้ในซูมเผื่ออาจารย์แบบเอ้ยกลับมาให้คะแนนอีกทีสิอะไรอย่างเงี้ยจะได้แบบยังพอจำอะไรได้บ้างโอเค please introduce your group what is your group name
เจ๊แดง
เจ๊แดงโอเค
Firstly, let's talk about the executive summary. I'm still doing it on the briefly case. Okay, from the data set, user engagement with online news platform is the highest during the evening hours, especially on mobile devices. And focus on the readers of backup will show deeper engagement compared to other outlets, while overall subscription and article sharing rates remain low. Okay, got the key finding is that evening is a peak period for user engagement with bank posts attracting the most attentive readers. And the data source news platform user engagement is 200 records and 70 variables. Main recommendation news outlets should prioritize publishing and promoting major stories between 5 to 9 and develop strategies to convert frequent evening readers into subscribers or active sharers.
good
And that means it's about and they're explicitly stated together. And it's the example of the categories like news category, US time, and reading times. And the data set is quite excellent because it's so neat and well structured and no major or missing value. First, our best And from data, over 60% of morning sessions come from mobile users, especially for sports and entertainment. So for communication teams, this issues design mobile use content. This one defines live visuals and notifications to better.
okay
Okay, so now to the second findings. We found that like the readers interested in business and politics, news, they tend to spend longer times in reading, which is like 3 to 4 minutes, and have a higher engagement score, which is like 7. So it means that like people who read this category, like they actually like spend a lot of time reading it. And according to like what we find is that like cross-tab analysis, the news category and engagement score revealed that business readers on desktop device weekday mornings had like 20 to 25 higher engagement than the average users. So like maybe like people who read in business, like they might read it in like good morning at their office. And for why it matters, the communication professional targeting like professionals or educated audiences should focus on in-depth, data-driven and credibility-focused content, as this segment values detail and reliability over entertainment value. And onto the next findings, subscription remained low despite high repeat visits. So although many readers return to the platform several times a week, the rate of subscription remains under 10%. This suggests that loyalty does not necessarily translate into monetary commitment. And this the variable like the variable has subscription shows frequent most visitors like still have marked no, they don't like subscribe according to the data given, but however engage actively through reading, scrolling, and occasional bookmarking. And for communication professional and digital publisher, this point to an opportunity to convert loyal readers into subscribers to personalized recommendation, loyalty reward, or exclusive early access rather than relying solely on generic paid compensation.
Okay, for the data visualization part, for the chart one is the device shared by the of the
What this chart show for us is reader access menu across different time of day, showing that the share of mobile versus desktop versus tablet session. In the morning from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, mobile device only account for well over 60% of session, especially among the 18 to 25 years old. Uh, this data can confirm that the mobile users during the commuting and breakfast routine spotting the hour finding one of the dividing ones that mobile reader dominate the morning news consumption. And for the next chart is average engagement score by new category. It compared the average engagement score across different news category. Business and politics stand out with engagement score both 7 and longer rating. Time of time of 3 to 4 minutes, significantly higher than the entertainment or lifestyle category. This confirms that the fighting to with business and politics readers show the highest engagement.
Alright, moving on to chart 3. So this chart shows the breakdown engagement score by both category and device type, showing that business and politics readers on desktop device have a 20 to 25% higher engagement than the average. This emphasizes that the professional reading from desktop on weekdays spend more time and engage on deeply, reinforcing finding to about high value audience. And yes, the chart 4. We might have made some mistake on this one because we couldn't figure it out, but the chart display is supposed to display the proportion of subscribed versus non-subscribed readers at each level of return frequency, daily, several times a week, weekly, etc. Reviews that even the most frequent visitors are mostly non-subscribers, over 90%, illustrating finding me that loyalty does not necessarily translate to paid subscription, and finding to an opportunity for personalized conviction respectively.
And so for the AI integration part, we use like mostly the function behind the ChatGPT and the ChatGPT to like after we use like different AI integration, it taught us how to shape results. But like we learn to be precise, structured, and straightforward while asking the questions because like the AI to
variable actual. This is the initial smart. But when you want to repeat the story, you come across inside these settings, then you have to name the analysis. And which was the only name was the most engagement. More because the lifetime impact of the very lot of business.
Subscription fee. The mobile user is the larger group of people who actually subscribe to us. So in this case, you can name the title in different way, but using the same chart, right?
We name like the title as like a key takeaway for.
Yes, that is very good conclusion. Thank you, thank you. Right. And okay, next please, chart number 3. Okay. Okay, this is, I think this is what I just recently mentioned. Right. Okay. Good. Okay, and here you can see that your charts, people usually read from left to right, and left should be smaller number and right should be larger number. But when you start the number like afternoon here, people starting to get kind of confused, and their brain has to work a lot. Yes, and they just focus on what is happening here rather than listening to what you are presenting. Right. So maybe you can do something about it in the later stage นะครับผม anyway thank you very much for your presentation นะครับขอบคุณครับ next week ใช่ this week you just submit the template completed template and some visualization like this already in the template. That's fine, that's good.
But next week is not the presentation day.
Next week is the not the presentation day.
Submit the presentation.
Yes, and give and you will receive feedback. Yes, week 4 is the final presentation. Is that okay with you? Yes, yes, step by step. Okay ครับ Okay. You're welcome. สวัสดีครับ 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 เรียบร้อยปุ๊กกี้นะประมาณนั้นเนาะเมื่อกี้อาจารย์เลยไหมก็เลยอยู่นะของ10 นาที Okay, is this Pookie team? No, you are Pookie team. Good. Are you ready? No. Just template 2. Just template 2. You just make the presentation for the template number 2. Try to complete template number 2 and just read and tell me how you come up with this complete template. Okay, I will come back. Is your group name is research? Oh, okay. Are you ready? Okay, good. Very nice. Okay, I would like to listen to the okay, thank you. How did you make the template number 2 completed like that? But basically, maybe you can just read what you wrote in your own words. นะครับผม and you have got in total 10 minutes so that you can get my feedback for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. So who is going to go first? Okay, very nice. This is your mic, and you can pass around to other presenter after you. The reason is sometimes I just forgot that I have to do the story again when I have more time.
Oh.
So everything in Zoom.
So the data set we
Your group name.
research.
Research.
Our group name is research, and the data set that we select is the number 2, the student communication data set, and yeah, so for the executive summary, we found that university students devote extensive time to social media, yet they trust it far less. So this is the key finding that we want to focus on. So yeah, there's going to be some further information like later on, but yeah, so for the data source, the survey is of 180 university students examining about media habits, content preference, and trust levels and others. But these are just like something that we are going to focus on. And for the main recommendations, so like there are a lots of like paradox and stuff. So the communication professionals should like blend credibility and accessibility in order to like communicate with the university students. And what we have analyzed, these are like, I will talk about the key variables. There's a lots of columns to focus, but we focus on like 4 main stuff. So the first one is the usage average daily hours. The second one is trust on 3 different sources, which is social media, university communication, and traditional news. And the third one is the preference of like the content type, and the fourth one is engagement level. So for the data quality and cleaning, we consider this as a good condition and suitable for quantitative analysis. So there are only some minor inconsistencies that we found. So there's just like some inconsistent text and stuffs, but we correct it as like we replace it and like check it again. So these are our cleaning process. And for the key finding, there are 3 key findings that we found. So the first one is the platform paradox, high usage but low trust. So the students, we found that they use like around 5 to 7 hours daily on like social media, but however, the average trust score is like very low compared to traditional news and university communications. And for the supporting evidence, we use the crosstab and correlation analysis between social media hours daily and trust social media. So it produced a moderate negative correlation, which shows like a lower trust on the platforms. And we think that this is matter for the communication professional because they should consider that high exposure doesn't mean that they have high influence. So they should occupy social media spaces strategically in order to like effectively communicate what they want with like the highest exposure. And for the finding 2 is the visual preference drive engagements, which is the format mismatch that we found. So we found that over 72% of the students prefer video-based, but however, right now communication on like university level, they remain text heavy. So they can change it to like a video-based content in order to like more like visual storytelling to sustain engagement, something like that. And the supporting evidence is the prefer video content and engagement level. And the third finding is the cultural influence shapes credibility. So we found the dimension of media literacy and language. So we found that students who fact check frequently mostly prefer English language content. So this subgroup, which is around like 25% of the respondents, report that highest engagement level suggests that cultural and linguistic literacy enhances credibility perceptions among students. So the supporting evidence is the cross analysis of fact check frequency, preferred language, and engagement level. So this matters for communication strategists because it highlights the power of bilingual and culturally adaptive communication. So they can use like multilingual campaigns not only to expand audience but also to build deeper trust. And these are our graphs, the data. So the first one is the high time, low trust. We use the charts to compare students' average daily time spent on different sources and the trust score, which, as I have said, that uh, they spend the most on social media, but the trust is like the lowest. Comparing to university students, they spend only like a very few time, but the trust is very high. So yeah, and the second one is the engagement gap. It just shows that it compares the engagement level of students who prefers video content and they don't like video content. And the third one is the cultural fluency and trust. So it shows that English, uh, the students who like use English language content shows a more higher trust and engagement compared to like students who mainly use Thai. So this suggests that bilingual and media literate students respond better to credible, culturally adaptive communication. And the fourth one is this pie chart. It just supports the other charts that it shows like the platform that students use the most as like main news or information source. So Line dominates like from all the updates and following by Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and like email.
And as for the AI integration that we use, so in this case, we use ChatGPT. So for a very helpful example is that we use ChatGPT to interpret early statistical patterns. So this is identifying the negative relationship between time spent on social media and trust level, which correlates that exposure does not always lead to credibility. And as for the human validation, we recalculated all the average percentages and correlations mainly in Google Sheets to confirm the AI interpretations again. And why this is helpful to communication professionals. Firstly, for the social media managers, this can be used to verify content and interactive contents on the platforms such as like Line, Instagram, and TikTok to improve credibility and engagement. And secondly is for the content creators, so we can prioritize the short form video and bilingual communication as per our finding. And lastly is for the marketing team. So we can help develop a campaign that blend credibility with familiarity. And as for the next step is that we are going to take immediate action. So to test a short form video-based university announcement campaign online or Instagram to measure the engagement versus text posts. And for our further research, we are going to explore how media literacy training or fact check prompts to increase trust in our official communication among students. And what we learned as a team, to our biggest surprise, is that trusted official university and traditional news source more, and revealing a distinction between reach and reliability. And our biggest challenges is that cleaning and organizing 180 surveys while aligning like multiple categories together. And as for our new skills, same as last time, is that we use AI assisted interpretation to help with our findings. And yeah, this is just like more like deeper confirming that ChatGPT helps a lot, AI helps a lot with the findings. And as for what we couldn't answer or our limitations is that we couldn't fully determine why students trust certain sources more. And also the data limitations. So the data itself relies on the self-reported survey data from like small samples. So this cannot like fully categorize like our society as a whole. Yeah. And as for the future studies, we are going to add like a qualitative interviews. Yeah. To find more like the psychological answers as to why. Thank you.
very much. Yay. Okay, ครับผม thank you. So this is quite a nice report for the uh, template number 2 because you have your questions, right? And this is start of the times over. Okay, you got the questions, you got the finding for to answer those questions using the data set that you chose. And you can also visualize the data that represent your findings so that larger population can also understand the numbers that you mentioned about in the findings, right? So this is already quite an achievement. And you also mentioned about the tools that you use quite well. Okay, good. And for the next step, okay, for the validation, I know that you say that you use the ChatGPT to help you analyze and maybe sometimes to visualize the data as well. If I'm not wrong, maybe you can try use the other tools like Gemini to actually do the same thing and see if it gives you the number to validate the answer from ChatGPT that you earlier get the number like that. Then don't give any hints to large any, otherwise it will just repeat the same answer, right? Okay, that's one thing one way to validate what you got from ChatGPT. And another thing is to manually do the data visualization using a Google Sheet or the Excel, trying to use the pivot table and try to do the sum or average groups to make the table that you can get it ready to make the charts that look similar and get inspired by ChatGPT or Gemini. Okay, so this is to really make sure that you know how to do it manually and you know how to validate the answer from the chats. Okay, and with that kind of skill, you can actually customize how your chart will look like in any ways that maybe your boss or your client will ask you to do in their way, right? If you just know how to make a data visualization just from the chat, maybe when you need to adjust into other ways, you don't have to prompt it again. So that is going to create later on problem. Okay. So, but do not feel worried about your output. Your output is nice. The next step is to validate and make it in the Google Sheet or Excel. Okay. Next week or this week, if you have got time, we have plenty of time. When you are already together, I think it's a good time to do the template 3. Okay. And the template 3, I think it will also need you to write about the 4 steps data storytelling framework. So what are you going to show as the as the opening scene? What is the headline that you want to make using the number? And what is the conflict introduction? What is the resolution for that? And what is the call for action? So if you already plan in this kind of steps based on what you found this week,
Thank you very much for the conversation. So don't leave the word for the next week. โอเคครับสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับมันดับไปแล้วโธ่น่าสงสาร อ่ะเวิร์กต่อไปครับ กลับได้แต่อยากให้ทำวิก8ไปเลย จะได้ไม่ต้องไปนัดตามร้านอาหารที่ไหนอีก เปลืองตังค์ซื้อน้ำก็มากินก็ได้อะได้หลอกล่อให้อยู่ จะได้ทำให้มันเสร็จใช่ไหมกลับบ้านไปก็ไม่ได้ทำแล้ว อยู่ในซูมว่ามีใครทำอ่ะกูว่าทำมันที่นี่แหละ ถูกจะได้ทำที่นี่ทำด้วยกัน อ่ะ JK rolling 2แล้ว1อยู่ไหนอยู่เนอร์นะ1พร้อมไหมหรือ2พร้อมก่อนเอา2ก่อนนะเอา2โอเคtemplate 2มาไอ้ตอนนั่งนี่ดีกว่าเอาจิ้มเลยดิแล้วอยู่ไหนล่ะ system อะไรอยู่ไหนจิ้มเลยครับใช่จิ้มไปเลยต้องมีอะแดปเตอร์ไหมไม่ต้องนะเครื่องนี้ไม่ต้องมีดีมาก
นี่ครับรุ่นใหม่อ่ะ
อีขิงปรากฏดับ โอเคครับ
Big Seven
Big 7 template number 2
chosen
JK rolling 2 okay and this is your mind
Oh, thank you. So, hi everyone online. This is me. So we have chosen a specific data set that we want to research, and this week we go for digital news reading habits. Yes. So, ไหนบอกรุ่นใหม่ไง Okay. So, these are the 4 things we're going to present this week. Starting from first one is from the data set, we have created 4 questions that we want to research in, that we want to know. So the first question is, when and during which time of day do readers spend the longest on digital content? So this question reveals daily reading habits and the most active time periods, helping media teams plan optimal publish times. The data we focus on this, we focus on this specific question is 3 things: day of the week, time of the day, and reading time minutes. This question can be useful for business for schedule high values articles or publish notifications when users read the longest, improving the engagement and dwell time. Next question, the second question, is which type of news contents generate the strongest interactive and engagements across device? This question shows which news categories, for example, politicals, lifestyles, health, perform best on desktop, mobiles, or tablet, guiding across platform strategy. Data we focus on this question are news category, type, device types, and also engagement score. This one is useful for business uses, for example, prioritized content and ad formats tailored for specific device specific audiences to boost overall engagement rates. Moving on, next is the third question. Okay, so these we present the question first, and then our data or our summarize will be showed later. Third question is, how do we age a demographic difference in engagement levels and reading consistency? It's helped define which age group, for example, 18 to 25 and 25 to 35, for example, are most engaged supporting retention and loyalty marketing. In this one, we will focus on age group, engagement score, and reading time per minute. Minutes. Yeah. Business uses for this question, we can use it to personalize campaigns and use user experience to target high engagement age brackets with relevant content or offer. And last question is the fourth question. What types of news encourage more sharing and commenting behaviors among readers? It highlights which content categories spark audiences, interactions, and conversation. Keys for building community-driven engagement. Data focus, we focus on the four things: news category, shared articles, left comments, and reading time minutes. The use for this one is guide social media and editorial teams to emphasize shareables, discussion-worthy contents that drives traffic and retention. Oh no, I need the script.
Stakeholder focus and relevance.
Yes, so stakeholder focus and decision relevance, like Alan said, first of all, stakeholders. So from a business point of view, our findings are particularly relevant to media strategies, strategists, digital publishers, and marketing team. These groups rely on engagement data to decide when and where to publish stories and how to adapt them for different device. Next, business. Okay. Business relevance findings help optimize article release times. Okay. Let's stick to my the script. Our insights help them optimize article timing and tailored content to each platforms, improving both reader engagement and ads performance. In short, we are turning data into decisions that directly impact audience growth and revenue opportunities.
Okay, so let's move to the most interesting part. Okay, so here's the first question about reading activity sorted by days of the week. So as you can see, readers spend the most time reading during early mornings, 9 to 5 a.m. On Wednesday and Saturday, right here. So what it tells. So an unusual spike that suggests people may check in-depth news before work or in during relaxed weekend for heavy insights. Yeah. So next one, average engagement by news category and device type. Politics and business news drive the highest engagement overall, especially on desktop and tablet. So it's suggesting that users prefer larger screens for serious information heavy content. Yeah. Next, age group. So readers aged 36 to 45 are the most engaged group, followed closely by the 46 to 55. But surprisingly, 18 to 25 has low engagement. Yeah. And the last one, sharing and commenting rate by news category. Business and politics, again, dominate both sharing and commenting activity, making them the most discussion-driven categories. Yeah. So in contrast, as you can see, entertainment and lifestyle have moderate engagement but low conversation rate. Yeah, showing they consume more passively. Yes. Okay, here's the group members. No. That's also work allocation and AI integration, man. Okay, so this is the same as last presentation, our work allocation. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. But the last part is AI integration. But I'll summarize you. I'll briefly summarize it to you. So throughout the process, we integrated AI tools. Mainly, we use ChatGPT and Genie. Yeah, to support our workflow. We didn't use AI to do the work for us, but instead we use it as a collaboration partner, for our work to enhance our process. And here's how we use it. First, we use ChatGPT to help us refine research questions, summarize data sets, and even provide syntax samples for visualization and analysis. And Genie, we use it to help us cross-check variable
meanings and ensure consistency in our team interpreted data. So during the report writing phase, both tools helps us improve our storytelling flow, making complex finding easier to explain and visually clearer for our audience. So AI also helped us adjust tone and layout, ensuring our slides stay professional, coherent, and easy to follow. And also Ajahn helped me to um, highlight the important part. So I decided to highlight it and use the easy color and same color to make it
Stand in the first 5 minutes, 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Yeah, that's our strategy. And um so for AI, to put it simply, AI made our work faster, smarter, and more precise, while still letting us control the whole work and the whole picture. And also, I used the AI to summarize the information and the slide for script. Yeah, because we have so many information, but we want our audience, Ajahn, to clearly understand our information. So we use AI to make a script first to make it more precise.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
PT.
Thank you.
Yeah, good.
I really appreciate your effort putting into these presentations, and it's clearly showing that you understand the essence of this course, the data analysis, and why we need to do this. You mentioned about when we have the data set, from those data sets, we have to think about a good or
the
multiple
key.
equations. Yeah, what we can get from these data pool, and then trying to dig into the data set to answer those questions nicely. And when you get the findings, okay, that is a good thing. And the data visualization is also another key. So you mentioned about the highlighting the key points in the chart by getting instruction from Ajahn. So, and you incorporate into your presentation. It means that you understand and you cooperate, right? So this is very good, very good. You don't resist. I don't want to do anything even anymore. I just would like to stick what we have. So that is not the right attitude, right? So when we come to learn, we adapt and we grow, right? Yeah, okay, good, very nice. Okay, but for the Ajahn, we have to find to give you some kind of area for improvement so that you grow. The title of the slide, okay, is something that you can, not the title of the slide, the title of the chart. Each chart should has got its title, and it's underneath. Right.
Ajahn.
He said underneath.
Ajahn tell us at first we put it up here
Ah,
and use a bold text.
right.
But Ajahn said this one is
Explain
more
this.
important
Ah.
for
I
the
think
audience.
the title, to me, I think the title should be up, right? But the description or the interpretation is underneath, should be underneath.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, and the title should make the statement rather than telling what are variables that
Okay.
involve. At the moment, the title is very generic, right? 2 variables, average engagement and news category and device type. That is variables. But what you would like to say here is that business and politics news get better engagement, especially on desktop. So this is the title of this chart. So, that's why he put it.
Yeah.
But it's quite long.
Okay.
It's quite long. Maybe you get something in 7 words.
Okay.
Okay, and next chart, please. Reader age 36 to 45 are the most engaged group. And stop there. Okay. Okay. And next, please. Business and politics dominate both sharing and commenting activity, making them the most discussion-driven category. So make things more concise. Yes, like business and politics are most discussion-driven content. And that's all. 7 words. And make the title only 1 line long, not double line like this. When it is double line, it seems to be like interpretation or explanation rather than title. Readers spend the most time reading during early morning on Wednesday and Saturdays. I think we can put it Wednesday and Saturday morning are
Okay. As the highest.
yes
Reading time.
reading time.
Okay.
Mm. Mm. Basically shorter. I need time. Right. Yeah, good. And you can drop the title underneath because we don't need it anymore. We need it at the beginning because we would like to know what variables that we took to create this chart. But after we already finished making chart, it's not necessary anymore. What matters more is the message. So you put the message as the title. Okay, is that good learning? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. Yay. You're welcome. สวัสดีครับ 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 So next week, or this week, I would like you to, when you are already together, it's good time to completing week 8 template. When you are together, maybe in 1 hour, I think you can finish. And next week, you don't have to do thing much. You just waiting for your presentation time. And when you have got more time again, you proceeding to template 4, which is the group reflection and personal reflections on this kind of learning journey. ครับผม ครับ สวัสดีครับ นะโอเคได้ดีมากสนุกไหมดีนะพาสนี้แบบว่าโชคดีมีหลายจอ ถ้ามีจอเดียวนี่คือแบบมัวแต่เสียบเข้าเสียบออกนี่แล้วก็มานั่งฟังกันบางทีเบื่อไงนึกออกไหมเอาโชคดี นี่ทำไมมันเป็นมือซ้ายวะทำไมเป็นมือซ้ายอ่ะมันไม่ใช่มือนี้เหรอ
น่าจะสาย
เหรอเยอะขนาดนั้นเลยเหรอคนมือซ้าย อะไรวะ มันทำมาผิดหรือเปล่าโอเค JK Rowling no number ใช่ JK Rowling 2ทำไมเพื่อนมาน้อย
เพื่อนเขาไปนี่มันเกิด
อือฮึ
เขาไปวันเกิดกัน
โอเค
อาสาทำพวกเดต้า ก็เลยทำกัน
โอเคแต่มันมีไอ้นี้ด้วยนะเขาเรียกอะไรอ่ะ attendance ด้วยนะคราวหน้าเขามานะโอเคกลุ่มนี้เหรอครูไม่อยากถามถึงแล้วครูเหนื่อยไปโอเคดีครับ JK Rowling ครับนี่ถือไว้ก็ได้
As we see here, this is our group member. We have Mikey, who's doing the pattern and trends. He's looking at data and trying to find questions. Put the laptop on there. I would mostly do communications and summarizations, leading the presentations, and we have Alex who do all the graph and charts that we have today. Okay, let's keep moving. So what we try to find is how does from the data, how does time spent on social media relate to like student trust in different news sources? Why matters? We try to reveal how media habits shape perceptions of credibility and influence how young audience interpret information online. So, maybe more into like fact checking later. And for business use, this can help like university brands and media organization like digital literacy and campaign or content strategies that rebuild trust while maintaining engagement in the young people and also people around campus or in the age group that might use social media. Or even we're gonna be learning more in the next one, which platform and content style most effectively engage student across different faculty. So we want to like know how platform preference and communication style vary amongst like audience, helping communicators craft message that actually reach their target groups. And next one, Mikey. So how does student use like fact checking is something that we want to be diving into and seeing how each age group or how faculty or maybe how often they fact checking from like the use of social media and traditional news. So showing whether student who actively fact checking or more discerning and trust certain sources more, helping understanding how media literacy impact engagement. And for last, like how does preferred content length, like video content or no video content kind of thing, how does it affect student engagement and trust in news? So we want to know about all these questions so that we would have better understanding of how they engage with this kind of social media content and how we can use this data to kind of like help us to maybe help people who want to make content in a way, or make a better communication as a whole in around like the campus community or like in this age group of young people. Yeah. Next one. Is the graph that Alex made.
Okay, explain it.
So it might be a bit convoluted, but from what we can see here is that average engagement level by platform across faculty. So there's like different platform of social media and how much each got engagement from each faculty. So it might be hard to see, but a lot of here's we can see that Instagram and Line got a lot of engagement from many faculty. Almost every faculty is engaging with Instagram and Line, while like YouTube only have like science students. And the highest is TikTok, while it have less faculty, maybe due to sample size and affected by that. But we can see that TikTok have the highest from engineering. However, it doesn't show that a lot of faculty use TikTok and most preferred Instagram or Line. So it could tell us about something about, maybe TikTok make it a lot of engineering students and higher like engagement, but maybe for more general audience, Instagram or Line would be better choice. Next one. Then the average of trust in social media and daily hour usage. So this graph is, I think it's simple and straightforward. Social media hours, how much people use social media in like hours per day, and how that show like each hours that have like trust in social media. So from this graph, I actually, before we do this graph, I thought that maybe the more hour of social media, the trust might be fluctuated or changed. But as we see in the table, it doesn't really change that much, and only like people who have like 4 to 6 hours that have a higher social like trust in social media, but then after that it falls back down. So this one is still a bit weird, and I think we can like do more research and data collecting and trying to understand more about like what is in play here to make it more understanding of data. Next one. And then we have fact checking frequency. So this one we separated into 3 columns, three like down there. We have trust in social media, like people trust in traditional news and trust in university communications. And then we have average of trust, while the colors kind of like showing like how much they often fact checking, rarely or sometimes fact checking. So from this we see that, as we predicted, university communications mostly gonna get the trust. How not like no matter how many times they fact checking, and it also showed that people who often fact checking will have a lot of more trust level than others, more probably because they fact check beforehand before they share their their content that they found or news that they found. Yeah. And then for the last one, we got content preference across faculty. So it's more of like we understand do they prefer video content or no video content, and this each color represents like each faculty in here. And the average engagement is like just showing average engagement, and as you can see, like it's more of like I think more people prefer video content, while there's like some like especially like art students who also prefer not no video content. But I think on the average general, I think more people prefer video content. And then 4-week timeline, I think Mikey want to be doing this.
No worry, we can skip to week 3.
Okay.
let's check week
So
3.
for week
Okay.
3, it was about the analysis and insights development. So our two main objectives was to conduct segmentation and pattern discovery, which I think we're pretty successful in doing, and to generate meaningful insights for engagement improvement. For our tasks, the first task would be to task responsible deliverable accountability. Week so week 4, it's about reporting in the presentation. We finalized recommendations and communicated results and ensured accountability through reflection and feedback. We had to create the final visualization dashboard, draft executive summary and key recommendations, present findings to to you, and conduct reflections and feedback sessions. Project manager lessons learned, document, shared public in repo.
Of this, because I already provide you the templates.
We filled it in already. Yeah, we filled it in already. We filled it in already.
Thank
Do you want to see our template?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is this?
It's just something stupid Alex did. I don't know. But yeah.
Okay, and what about the full stack data storytelling framework? Have you prepared? Not yet. Not yet. Not
Oh,
yet. No
yeah.
problem. No problem. Okay, this is all the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Okay, so the presentation was nice. Thank you very much. And the you start with the questions, very nice, and then you try to find the findings.
Right, and the graph or the charts. Okay. But sometimes you can see that the charts doesn't really give the direct answer to the questions that you already posed earlier. Okay, maybe sometimes you can you don't have to really dig down into the data yet, because at the first place we have to let the people understand the overall idea of this data first and try to answer the questions from the general point of view. Yes, for example, let's go back to the question number 1. How does time spent on social media related to social trust in different news source? Okay, when you see these questions, you see the word time, right? And you see the word trust and news sources. All right, okay. And another word that is quite important is relate to, right? When we see the word relate to, it means that we have to think about the correlations between 2-3 variables. So you have to take the time spent and you take the trust and see the number of hours increase, the score of trust increase or not. So you can use the scatter plot. This means time's over, but no worry, we can extend. Okay, so in this case, you can see that maybe news source number 1, you see this kind of correlations. News source number 2, this kind of correlation. The the social media, the time spent, the more they spend the time on social media, the score of trust kind of decrease. But if they spend more time on news source like TV or traditional media or newspaper, you can see that the more time they spend on that source of news, the score get increased. And then you have got 2-3 news sources and correlation between times and trust score. You can understand what are the differences between these things. And then you can highlight, you can see this, the patterns of the social media in terms of time and trust is different from the rest. Okay, but what you are presenting right now is where is the time and trust here? But you can't really tell about different news sources. So it means that we have to do it one by one. Maybe this is one of the charts in the series. Or there's more, yeah, more charts to answer to that question. Okay. No problem, no problem. That's why we have got this kind of sessions. Initial data visualization. Okay.
I did tell him to like separate between like traditional news and social media news, but I think he said like there's some problems on his end. It's like he cannot do it and stuff.
I know. So, and you can see that the variable on left-hand side is number, and the variables on the x-axis is also the number. So in this case, it means we can do the correlations, right, and scatter plot. Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. And let's take a look at the question number 2. Which platforms and content style most effectively engage students across different faculties? Okay, so here you see the word platform, you see the word content type or content style, and engagement, and faculty. Okay, you post very complex questions. Okay, so you want to know what platform and content style engage different faculty member, student from different faculty. So in this case, maybe you can use the because the data visualization is going to be very complex here because we have got a lot of variables.
Can we do like for one question, we might use more than 1 or 2 charts to explain what we're trying to answer?
Yes, you can do that.
Easier.
Easier, yes. Yes, correct. Because this is going to be very complex. So maybe you can change the question to be a lot simpler. Like, okay, from this data set, maybe the question should be, what news source that the student trust the most? Yeah. Of what type of what platform student trust the most? Or what news styles or content style that student trust the most? Yes. Okay, good. And then you can use X, Y, and X because there are 2 variables. If you have got more variables like that, 4 variables like that, we have to have more 3-dimensional or 4-dimensional or 6-dimensional kind of graph, not 2-dimensional like this. That is very complex. Have you ever seen the cubic chart? Cubic charts, it has got the X, it has an X, Y, and Z charts like here. And it has got 3-dimensional way to represent data.
That's smart.
Yeah, you can make it using the programs like Excel, but the problem is the people who just lay person, they don't understand what you're trying to say, what are you trying to represent. Even the marketing team who have got very high educations and they are familiar with math, they might not understand what you're trying to say. Needless to say, to the communication team, if you represent your data in a very complex way, it's planned to fail to communicate with other people, right? So the simple question, simple representation, big impact. That is the way to go. Okay, and you have to think about your audience in mind. This data set is very nice. You can talk to many people, but at the moment, who are you talking to? Marketing team or scholar or what audience, right? Or general audience. Sometimes what you are asking, the question you're asking right now is about the trust and media literacy. It seems like you are talking to the scholar communities rather than business.
Yeah.
Right. So if you put it in another way around, like what news source actually makes people subscribe. That is more business wise, right. Okay. Or what type of news actually related to subscription? This is going to make the company make profits and survive. Okay. So the question is the starting point of everything in the later process. Okay, good.
Good.
I'm so sorry that it seems like you have to start from the beginning again, but I think it's a good. Otherwise, if you continue doing something very difficult,
Get harder.
it's get harder and harder. โอเคครับผม
Yeah.
ครับผม โอเคครับ You're welcome สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ You like this course? Do you like this course?
Well, because of your time.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Okay. ครับสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับ Okay. Is everyone ready here? Okay, good ครับ More than ready นะ Okay, ready ไปถึงแบบว่า week 9 แล้ว project 2 ready. Okay, this is the template number 2 completion presentation. Okay, what is your group name? Okay, and this is your mind. Who is going to present first? And you can pass the mic around.
I think it starts with your part. The overview.
Okay, so our project is called, we work with the data set called cross-cultural marketing, data set number 4. So when we analyze the set, data set 4,
Yeah, no, data set 4, that's it.
Data set 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
I got it from week 5. The name is dataset 4 cross-cultural marketing. I think so. By the way, the sample size is 150 records. So the time period is from August day 1, 2022 to 8 of January 2025. And the key variables are CTR percent, column O, ROAS, column S, and budget, column I. That's what we mainly work on. We also work on several criteria, for example, target age group. That's what we identify as our criteria to compare. So I'm responsible for data organization and cleaning. When I scan the set, I found out that actually the overall data quality is very good. There are no missing values, no duplicates, no outliners. The logical consistency is good.
Categorical standardization is also good, and also data range validity is very good. However, we recognize a problem. Although the dataset is relatively clean, it remains somewhat confusing for analysis. Therefore, we added a filter to each column so that when we need to compare, for instance, two specific columns under certain criteria, we can simply select the relevant values. Yes. So now let's move on to our key findings.
Okay, for the finding number 1 is the campaign performance in different channels. And we found out that TikTok ads work the best in almost every campaign, especially in app installation. And line ads work the worst in all campaigns. And for the next finding, it's about the performance of ad format in different age group. And we found out that stories and videos are the best ad format for almost every age group. But however, text format is highly not recommended. And for the third finding is about the age-specific industry marketing effectiveness. We found out that the age 18 to 25 is spending the most in almost every category except finance. And for the sandwich generation, which is the 36 to 45 years olds, are spending the least in every type of category. For the last finding is about the relationship between budget and the conversion rate. So we found out that increasing budget will likely result in slightly higher conversion rate, as you can see from the graph. Yes. And now for the data visualizations.
Okay. So for the first chart, which is campaign performance in different channels, what this shows is that it shows the campaign performance in different channels with TikTok ads amounting to the highest average CTR, and on the contrary, line ads seems to be the lowest in every single category. And for the second chart, which is performance of ad format in different target groups, we said that the performance of ad format in different target groups shows that the story format works better with younger audiences, especially those 18 to 25 years old, whereas the group of 36 to 45 years old seems to not be affected by any particular ad formats. And additionally, the text has little to no effect on any target groups. Therefore, it is wise for brands to shift their investments elsewhere.
And then for the others, for chart 3 is like industry performance by target groups. So it just shows that like the age group of 18 to 25-year-olds like dominate most categories where they have like the highest performance, except for like as Brot mentioned, finance and healthcare. Meanwhile, like the sandwich group or like the 36 to 45-year-olds, they seem to be like relatively low in all the performances, and this is like consistent in every category. And it's also worth noting that more people seem to like engage in terms of performance as they reach like 55 and older. And then for the last is the budget versus conversion rate percent chart. This is like a scatter plot, and so we found that there is a slightly positive correlation. And this is probably due to like how diverse the conversion rate percent is when it's in the range of 0 to like 1,000 baht for the budget.
Okay, so I'm doing the AI part. So the AI tools we used are ChatGPT and Joule Genie. And the helpful example that we found is that we use ChatGPT to compare campaign performances across channel, and we found that TikTok ads has the highest engagements, and especially in the visual and high budget campaign like app installment and brand awareness. And as for the what we learned part, is like it revealed the patterns that we didn't like notice, such as like video ads performance is best among like 18 to 25 years old, and education/travel industry generate the highest ROAS. And the human validation is like we verified it by recalculating average in Excel. So we checked the dailyless chart, and we found the R square is like 0.2206. Yes, and confirmed the result through peer review also with Ajan, and the marketing logic also we got references, and the references is down there. We also got a screenshot of all the AI things we use. It's in the another Google Drive. You can check it later.
So for the practical applications parts, social media managers should focus on TikTok and Instagram because these two platforms had the highest CTR and engagement rates. So this means campaigns on these channels are much more effective, and managers should move more budget and planning to these two platforms. And for content creators should design ads that fit the audience's age group. Uh, um, Example, using story and video ads for age 18 to 25 group and more balanced multimedia content for older audiences. And for marketing teams should plan their strategies based on both age group and industry, like education ads, which work best for the 18 to 25 age group, and technology sector, which worked the best for age 46 to 55 groups, which means that allocating higher budgets to education and technology sectors when targeting younger and older audiences respectively, while maintaining a balanced band for consistent performers like food and beverage. Um, the next steps are first is the immediate actions. The immediate step is to relocate ad budgets. Since the data shows TikTok and Instagram perform other platforms, budgets should be focused here. Focused there. Teams should also test different ad formats for each age group, like story ads for age 18 to 25 group and video ads for 26 to 35 age groups. And for further research, our analysis also found that budget and conversion rate have a weak relationship. So the R square value was only 0.2206, meaning budget explains just 22% of the variation. So there are other important factors like ad quality, timing, or message that influence conversions. So more research should focus on these other factors and also on how cultural differences affect marketing results across countries.
Moving on to what we learned as a team, our biggest surprise is how TikTok outperformed other channels for click-through rate and conversion rate, especially the travel industry. We didn't expect short-form video platform to drive such a high conversion compared to the traditional platform like Facebook or YouTube. The hardest part was normalizing performance metric across different industry and budget tier. Since the campaigns range from low to premium, comparing ROAS and CPC very required significant data cleaning and adjustment for skill. New skills, we develop stronger data visualization and segmentation skills, especially comparing budget vs conventional rate and ad format vs age group trend. Using the pivot table and calculate the column help us actionable insights. Most valuable tools, the CTR and conversion rate analysis through in Excel, formula pivot table, and conditional formatting were the most
helpful for identity top performing campaign and visualizing performance trend quickly. Next is limitation and future research.
Next, let's talk about limitations and future research. What we couldn't answer, we couldn't fully explain why certain ad formats perform better for specific age groups, or how creative design and message tone influence engagement. And data limitations, the data set was limited to 150 records from August 2024 to January 2025, with no data on ad content quality, audience sentiment, or campaign timing. These missing variables may have affected accuracy. And future studies, future research should include larger data sets, longer timeframes, and qualitative factors such as emotional response or cultural preferences to better understand what drives ad performance.
Thank you very much. Okay, I liked your effort in data visualizations and analysis very much, because this data set is not easy to work with, because there are so many variables, and when there are so many variables, it distracts you in every direction, right? And it very easily to get confused what we should focus, right? What is the good questions out of these quality data set, right? So I appreciate your what you call braveness to choose this data set, and you make it very nicely. You can see you tried very you made very well data visualizations. I can see instantly that you would like to emphasize on that purple bars and the green one. Yes, and then you tell the story later on that why you would like to focus on those bars, for example, right? And for this one as well, you already tell me very clearly that okay, there are some type of things that we have to focus more, right? Because the ads very effective in story, right? Okay, good. You use the color with purpose, right? And you intentionally name the title to make a statement. Although to me, I think it is quite long, quite lengthy title. Maybe your title should be only one line within 7 words, right? This is a key number, 7 words. And for the statement that longer than that, maybe you can use it as the explanation or interpretation that can go underneath the you can put underneath the tables, right? But for the table title itself, not table title, sorry, the title for the chart itself, it should be kind of brief. Okay, but again, still need to make some statement. Okay, and what else? Those are the compliments and also the area for improvement. Okay, and what about this one? This one is the correlation and the R square. And I appreciate you make it because no other groups make this correlation analysis at all. Okay, give a big hand to yourself. Yay! Good. Okay, you have made a good one. And to make you improve on explain this chart is that when you see the R square 0 to 2, it means quite weak correlation. It's not as you can see, the line is there, but the dot is not on the line. Right, it means it's weak. It's almost scattered away from the line. So this chart means that you can't be sure that when you spend more, you will get more conversion rate. You can't be sure like that at all. It's very weak assumption. and there are 80% that you will fail. Right, right. Am I right? Based on this chart and its correlation number, right? So you have to understand this chart, right? Okay, but anyway, you already mentioned about it. You already explained it. Yes, you already mentioned. You already mentioned, and to really use the number to make the point, you can use my word. There is 80% that going to fail if you believe that budget will lead to conversion. Okay, because we are using the data storytelling, so we use the number to make statement. Because only 20% that it's going to be like that. So another 80% is not going to be like that, what you think. Okay, good. So I believe that you already understand the essence of this course, the data analysis. It means that we play with the data set to make people understand what they need to do and what they need to believe in, right? And when you complete the project 1, I think you will be able to make the engaging data storytelling. And then when you proceed on to project number 2 and 3, you'll be mastery in the data analysis. Don't feel kind of nervous or inconfident that, oh, I don't really get it now, because this is your first project. Right. It is only the starting and you are getting there for sure. This is very, very good beginning. Okay. Is there any questions or concern that you would like me to address? No? Okay, not for now. So thank you very much for your effort. And I hope that when you have got time to gather and work as a group like this, I think you learn better rather than scatter in your at home and do the Zoom meeting and not many people actually engage, at least mentally. So I think be in the class and work like this is more productive. นะครับ and next week next class is going to structure like this. Everyone has to come together and people present, you work on your project, and when you are ready, you give the presentation. Right. Good. Yes, please. Right. So you very good. So you have to think about the audience who is going to listening to your presentation. It is the content manager, or it is the advertising manager. They are different, right? Or the who? Okay, so if it is the content manager, your data, that important to them is what type of data that I should write about or make, and when those data need to be launched on what platform, so that I can create the data, match the platform. Okay, that is the important data, right? But if your audience is the advertising manager, they're concerned about the ad budget. They're concerned about the return on their investment, like ROI, click-through rate, engagement rate, share rate, comment rate. So those kind of data will be important to them. Okay, so in conclusion, to assess what finding is important, it depends on audience. Okay, so you have to set the persona of your audience before you actually make the presentation. But don't make the persona too detailed. Just, okay, next week, when you work on the week 8 template, which is template number 3, the audience is this. So the finding, the same chart but different focus. Okay. Okay, guys. Next week. That is the matter of next week. Not this week. Okay. Have a good one. Bye bye, Ka. Bye bye. Bye bye, Ka.
I have to write the key finding in this template already for this week.
It's okay. It's okay.
So which audience should I choose? Maybe
Uh,
marketing team?
Yes. Yes. Maybe my marketing team. Okay. Good. Good. Good job. Yay. Very good. Good นะครับ Are you happy?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. ขอบคุณนะครับอาจารย์โอเบส Key finding maybe 3 things: the problems, the solution, and the impact. Right. So what is the problem here? The budget doesn't translate into conversion rate as we expect. This is the problem. So the solution, what create the conversion rate? This is the solution. And impact. So to make impact, we have to create more this kind of data, this kind of content, yes, and through this platform within 30 days, 60 days. And the key metric is in conversion rate should increase. If it doesn't increase, we have to strategize our plan again, reconsider our plan again. Okay, so there are only 3 findings. You're welcome. You're welcome. ครับสวัสดีครับ